Everybody to the welcome to the rock call this week. I got approached from somebody at the core coaching program, and that's where Randall Mills is part of the core coaching. I was actually in the core coaching program for many years back when I was doing loans and cranking out business, and it's probably, I think it's the best coaching program in the country. And they came on and said, we'd love to, just have somebody come on and share some information about mortgage coaching and what we do. So Randall's been gracious enough to join us here on this call. And Randall's at, is it Nova Home Loans? Is that right?
Yep, Nova Home Loans based out of Arizona, and then the director at the core training. So and a level 3 coach and a top 1% producer. So I kind of change hats all day long. Doing.
Well, that's what we all do. That's a good thing. I like that. So so today, the topic, what are we going to talk about today? What's the main thing you want to share with us that maybe you can just give some insight? We typically keep this about a half hour, short, sweet. Everybody jumps on their own merit, and maybe at the end, there'll be some questions for you to take.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing I want to talk about, Brian and I had talked about earlier, and thank you again, Brian. So to have a format like this where someone's willing to pour into you and help out is massive, because there's so many companies that we talk to that don't have this format where they have these sales meetings and they always try to coach from internal versus bringing external people out. And sometimes, again, you just need that external person that's an expert in the market to kind of help you out. So I really appreciate the time on that.
Absolutely. So,
deepening realtor relationships, generating other than realtor relationships for your business to make sure you have a balanced business. Because, I can't see everybody on camera here, but by virtual show of hands, or if you can kind of raise your hand virtually on this, how many of us are completely realtor driven? Meaning, yes, we have past clients that kind of show up every once in a while, and we're on the, there we go, Nicole, yep, there we go, hands up, there we go. So we have the hope and happy. God, I hope my past clients call me and I'm happy I'm having a decent month, but we have no reasoning of why it actually happens. We don't have any tracking on it. Again, we just keep going, man, I hope rates go down. Well, rates did come down, but did it give us this magical amount of business coming back? Not really. Then also we have the next problem. We think that there's a refi boom coming. And I'm going to be shocked to tell you guys, it's not coming. It's not coming anytime soon. Because last time we had a refi boom, rates were dropping to 3%, which historically we'd never seen. We did such a good job for years getting all our clients into it. They're not going to get out of it, not anytime soon. So then we got the problem of now the servicing companies are smarter and ahead of the game this time. The last time these rates went down, the servicing companies, they were just servicers. They just took in payments, even though they're full-blown mortgage companies. So what do you think is going to happen this time? And Brian, I can ask you a question on this one. How much of the refi business do you think we're actually going to get versus our servicers in the next couple of years when those rates stop down? Who's going to be in front of you guys? Who's going to be faster on the button? The servicer or the loan officers?
Well, it would be the servicer, because they're going to be, that's all they got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you pay your payment every month, there's going to be a little link next to it saying, hey, Clay, we'd love to lower your rate 1%. Click here. So knowing that's not going to come, we need to make sure we're focusing on realtors, which I only want about 50% realtor business at most. If you have too much more than that, then you're kind of off balance. And then we need past client. Now, past client doesn't necessarily mean that you're going for a refinance. A past client is someone that enjoyed you, liked you, already gave you their money one time, and they'll refer friends. We're going to talk about that real quick. And then also how to balance out and have a four-legged stool. And so it's just this one-legged stool where you're kind of bobbling around hoping for realtors, where we're going to have business people. Business people are going to refer us business, as far as like attorneys, CPAs, and I'll give you some script on that. And he's going to record this. I might actually tell you just sometime to have your cell phone nearby. You can hit record on this too, like that way you can dissect it a little bit quicker. And then our last one, current client referrals. During the transaction, while we're during the honeymoon, things are still going great. They haven't moved on, because after the transaction, you got to realize, I just went through it myself, just buying a new house when I moved out to North Carolina here, is I've got utilities, I've got landscaping, I've got life and everything else in my business I got to catch back up on. I took so much time out buying this house that for me to go out and search for referrals after the fact is a little bit hard. So we need to be consistent about asking for the business as we go through the transaction, especially when highlights come like clear to close. You're on time or you're ahead at that point. Everything's great. Underwriter signed off on everything. The title company hasn't screwed up the closing yet. The sellers haven't delayed where it's going to upset the buyers. When everybody's happy, they're clear to close, that's the time to strike. You got to hit them and ask for those referrals. So let's start off with real estate agents first. How many of us love cold calling agents? I actually do. I'm so okay with cold calling agents. And this is where I want you guys, if you're not on your cell phone now, grab your cell phones. Now Brian did record this, but go ahead and record this little small bit here because you want to record this one part. I'm going to give you the script on how to call a whale agent. And Brian, if you want to be my whale agent like that, I want you to be a little easy, then I want you to be a little difficult with me too, right?
Okay, so what's your definition of a whale agent?
A whale agent is somebody that's going to be producing $15 to $20 million a year in real estate, depending on your market. Now, if you're in a smaller market, it could be 12, but they produce, they're doing 4 or 5 deals a month that you can get your hands on 1 or 2 a month out there, because by the time you're looking at it. So I look them up in MMI, like everybody else, kind of creep around. And if I see that less than half their business is going to one person, that's an open relationship. Now, if I see them do 12 transactions and 11 of 12 went to Brian Fritz, I'm not going to go beat my head against the wall and chase it down because I know Brian's a smart guy and obviously he's got that thing capitalized on. But if he's only getting half, other half is still there, right? And realize this, 100% of the agents that you work with now, guys, had a lender when you met them. Let me say that again, 100% of the agents you work with had a lender when you met them. Not one agent's wandering around looking for a loan officer because they can't find us. So knowing that's the truth, why are we so afraid to call agents? Do they already have a lender? Well, we already established that fact. So I'm going to give you a script on it. So Brian, you'll be my whale. Ring, ring.
Hey, this is Brian.
Brian, hey, Randall Mills at Nova Home Loans. Listen, I know you hate receiving these calls as much as I hate making them sometimes. But I've got a quick business opportunity for you, of course, involving real estate. I'm just looking for an agent that still has capacity on their team.
Okay, great. Tell me more.
He wants to be excited about it. He's going to be super easy. Say, great, tell me more. I'll go down the path of, okay, so what I'm going to do is help you set up a business-to-business channel account. That way, now, I know you work with Clay Schwan over at ABC Mortgage Company, and he's really good. And I've never been a person, but I hear good things. So I'm not looking to take business away from him. What I am, however, looking to do is create this business-to-business channel account with you. And if I do, then I have the opportunity to work on that business. It's no different than when you refer me a lead, I can't refer it over to Scott over at Remax. You'd be upset with that, right? So if you and I generate something, I just need a gentleman's agreement that you work with me on this account. Is that okay to ask?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So the business now. If he says no to this up front, which everybody's thinking, okay, this is really easy for Brian. So if I do hey, I'm looking for an agent with some more capacity, and Brian's response is,
you know what, right now I'm full and really not looking for more opportunities.
And and Brian, I totally understand that. I know I can tell by your report that you are a busy guy. Is there anybody else in your brokerage that you're friends with that does have capacity for some more deals right now?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's going to be a little FOMO on that. You're probably going to get him to stop and go, wait a second, hold on. Okay. What is this? Tell me a little more about it. So if you just take it away, just a standard takeaway close, no problem. I understand you're busy, Brian. Why don't you just hand me over to one of your buddies and they'll see what they have. So then you start piquing his interest a little bit. Okay. Sure. So super simple. So now we get to the point of, okay, what I just need to do, I need to come in and I need to set up, about a 15-minute appointment with you in your office. And we're going to go over a couple things. We're going to show you how to set up. Now, I'm going to work this account with you. I'm not just going to drop it on you like an idea like a title rep does or most loan officers just drop some idea on you like they're so much better at the business than you are. I'm going to help you set it up. I'm going to help you run it. And then, of course, they're going to say, well, can't we just do this over the phone? And I say, yeah, absolutely, Brian. So I'm going to send you a link right now for my Zoom link. I need you to have an Excel spreadsheet and know how to use that. I need about 20 or 25 minutes of your time, and I need your list of people that you already work with. And we know the response at that time, right, guys? Yeah, well, I'm kind of busy right now as you hear him beeping in the background, checking out at the grocery store, or they're next up at Top Golf or walking the dog, yoga, Pilates, all the stuff during the day that realtors do. instead of really business working, right? They just do all these things instead because we hear it all the time. So of course they're going to default with, let's just set up in my office. No problem. When you go in their office, here's our business to business channel account. Now in the core, everything I'm teaching, by the way, today is 100% core principles here. This is what we teach. This is what we do. So in the core, Brian probably remembers this day. Friday was our VIP day. VIP day are business people that refer us deals. Okay. Accountants, CPA. So they're sitting down with the agent. We'll be like, all right, Brian, so I need you to come up. We're going to come up with 10 categories of people we're going to call. I'm going to give you a couple of them right now. Financial planners from like 0 to 50,000. Those are like your Edward Jones guys, right? Starting in the business, just cutting their teeth. Then we need some mid-level financial planners, your mom and pop shops. And then we need some bigger financial planners, your Merrill Lynch's, your Schwab's, the big guys out there, right? Fidelity. So there's 3 categories. Then we're going to need a real estate attorney. We're going to need a family attorney, which, by the way, is the fancy word for divorce. Now, if you know, across the country, there's about, what's the divorce rate? Like 50%? I know in Arizona is shockingly high. It's like 65%. It's crazy, right? And in every divorce, how many attorneys are there?
2.
There's 2. So anybody you know that's gotten a divorce out there, you have 2 referral sources. And you probably know which one's the better one because you know who got more of the money. So we'll find divorce attorneys. They're going to be super easy to find. They're everywhere. And then we're going to find their number 1 referral source. Now, when I say referral source, it's for you referring to them. It's going to be estate planning attorneys. Because the whole giver's gain mentality here is going to ring through. Okay. So for realtors and lenders and estate planning services, we're the whales now. So if we're the whales, it's super easy to refer to them and ask when you get back, or we're going to be giving them a lot of referrals. And then we'll find a couple more, have them like, you know, accountants, CPAs, bookkeepers, whatever, have them name a couple. So the deal is we're looking to manage 40. That's it, nothing more. Because 40 is about the top number of business people you can actually manage. Now we'll do some top grading throughout the year to find some good people. So we follow it so far. Call the whale, take the objection out of the room right away by saying you hate receiving these calls as much as I hate making them. Get him to actually schedule with you by either FOMO of saying, hey, if he's all good, great. Who else in your branch needs more deals right now? He'll come back to you really quick. Or if he says yes, but you have to schedule the in-office appointment, you do that just by overwhelming him with the stuff he needs to do if he wants to do it on the phone right then. I've never had anybody say yes to that point. I'd rather say, yeah, go ahead and send me the link. I'll get Excel open. I'll get you my business. They'd rather just set the appointment. So we've got to this part. We've set up our 10 categories. Now, we don't necessarily need 4 people in each category because for like divorce attorneys, you only need a couple of them. But estate planning attorneys, we're going to need probably 4 or 5 because they're our number 1 referral sources. So once we set these up, then we finally get to use social media for something of value. I want you to go to Facebook and just ask out there, you know, hey, does anybody have an estate planning services in North Charlotte, Central Charlotte, South Charlotte? So wherever you are, north, south, east, west, central, whatever it may be. Once you get these referrals, they're all warm leads now. So I can call over to, let's say, Clay Schwan. So I'd be like, you know, I could call him, hey, Clay, my name is Randall Mills. A buddy of mine, Brian Fritz, had referred me over to you for estate planning services. Are you taking on any new clients right now? Of course, Clay's answer is going to be, as a small business owner, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Clay, you're the second one of my boxes here, my little Brady Bunch circle. So you're going to be part of my scripting here. So you're going to be, yeah, 100%. Don't be from Granite Mortgage. Don't be from Keller Williams. Don't be from anything real estate related. Just be Randall. Show up to the meeting. Tell me about your estate planning services. What are your philosophy? What's your business? Now, if they ask me what I do, I just say, I'm involved in real estate. I keep it very high level and just move on. Because if we get to the point of lender and realtors, they always know lenders and realtors always want leads. And I'm going to flip the script on them here where I'm giving them the leads. Okay. So go through the presentation. We talk about it. And I was like, well, Clay, I really like your business model. If you only like it, I really like your business model. Would it be okay if I professionally referred my people over to you? Because being involved in real estate, I come across a lot of people that need estate planning services. What's my value rating to Clay right now?
Huge.
Through the roof. Because everybody else just wants. I'm going to give. Now, if Clay's a smart business owner, he's going to dive a little deeper into my business, which is good. It's what we want. If he doesn't do it up front, that's okay. Over time, as I show you the pattern on how to follow up with him, if he doesn't start asking more about your business or refer back to you, then we just top grade and find somebody new. This is the simplest, the easiest way to build out your VIP program that we call on Fridays. And there's a reason we call them on Fridays. I can break that down if we have time, but just focus on them on Fridays. Realtors on Monday, VIPs and business people on Fridays. Using the script, showing up. And now think about it. If you're a loan officer, I know with my team, I do probably about 45 to 50 applications a month right now. We're a little bit down because of the market. Now, 40 to 55 applications. I'm not saying pre-quals, but applications. 100% of my applications get referred to my estate planning attorneys. Excuse me.
And how many estate planning attorneys do you have?
I run about 5 because the way Phoenix is divided, north, south, east, west, and central. Or actually, north, south. There's no south really because you run into mountains there. It's kind of East Valley and then far East Valley.
Okay.
So I run 5. You could always run more depending on how leads. Now, when my leads go back up, because we're only at about 60, 65 leads a month right now. We used to be at about 100. So when the market picks back up, I'll pick up more estate planning services because I don't even make it a choice. Kind of like when you're referring your insurance rep, I don't give the client a choice saying, hey, would you like me to refer you for insurance? I just say, hey, Brian, I'm going to refer you over to my buddy Scott Robnett over at Robnett Insurance because he's a super smart guy and he's going to shop about 20 insurance companies for you because he's a broker. And then I want you to get a quote from your person, whoever you have your homeowners or car insurance through now. And that way you have an easy comparison and it'll take all the shopping out for you. I'll just go ahead and just do a 3-way quick email introduction for you. Now, did I just take down all the barriers of saying, would you like something? Yeah, I just say, I'm going to. Same thing. Also, Clay, I'm going to introduce you to Scott Robnett over Robnett, estate planning services. Super smart guy, and you're about ready to buy the biggest asset of your life. We need to protect this with at least a minimum of a will, or even better, an estate planning trust. Again, I didn't ask a question. I told him I'm going to. And by the way, I'm giving you the best. You only take away one business tip from this whole talk. It is the 3-way email chain. Okay, 3-way email chain on this is I never, ever allow my agents to hand out my phone number. Take that in for a second. My agents aren't allowed to hand out my phone number because the worst thing I can hear is when I call my agents on Monday and Brian's like, yeah, I gave out your number 3 or 4 times this week and I hope they call you. What do we talk about removing out of our business plan? Hope and happy. We're not going to be happy. We're not going to be hopeful. We're going to be methodical about what we do. But what you can do to introduce me is a 3-way email chain between my team email, because I've got 5 people in that team email, the client, and the real estate agent. It would look like Brian referring me like, hey, Randall and team, I want to introduce you to Clay and his family. They're just moving to the Charlotte area. We're going to be out shopping for houses this weekend. He's looking in about the $500,000 range. I hope you can get them qualified. Clay, this is Randall Mills and team. They're a top 1% lender. And they take amazing care of my clients and do a great job. I know you'll love them. So
do you just coach your agents to make sure they do that?
I do, because I can prove to them, because I track my numbers. Because you know me, I'm a numbers guy being in the core. I've got a 91% lead to application ratio. Industry average, 47.
I wrote that down. You had 60 leads. You're doing 40 to 45 apps. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good on that stuff. Everything depending on where we're at on there, because we'll be running about 91% on there. Usually we'll tick that number back up again. Right now we're behind, and it rises and falls. 80 to 85% is my target. We run 91 for the year. We were ahead early in the year, but it seems like in the last few weeks, I don't know if it's the flood on the market, or I think it's probably we're getting into spring break. Our application rate's gone way down, because anytime people are on spring break, coming up on spring break, they just don't answer back. But it should catch up, because last year we averaged 91. We're at about 82% right now, so we're pretty low. But again, it'll pick up and average out. Once you get in the very beginning of the month, your averages are always small, and then they start getting larger throughout the year. So by doing this, because we have a Loctite system that within 15 minutes will respond back to the email, because anybody on my team can respond back, Brian, thank you so much. Clay, when do you and your wife have a second to chat? It's an instantaneous connection. If they're just handing out your name, now also coach your agents on this too. Because the worst thing that any of their clients could do is just hand out their number without doing the 3-way email introduction. They just run into them, I don't know, say at the grocery store. Like, Clay, hey, man, great to see you. Hey, I gave your number to my brother-in-law last week. Hopefully he called you. And the agents go, yeah, that happens all the time. Well, let me show you how to go to your past clients and get the proper referral. So that'll change your business today. right there. That'll change it. And that'll help change your agent's business today because you'll become a more valued partner. So now we're at the fact that we have all these referrals that came through Facebook. We know how to hold a proper meeting with them because it's never about us. You worry about other people's money, not your money. You worry about them and give them referrals. They'll naturally come around back to you. So you want to follow up with them about once, you want to take all 40, call about 10 a week. Okay. So that means you're going to call them about once every month. Now that call could be a text message, a valuable email, or Google will do most of the work for you. When you're talking and getting to know them, let's say, I don't know, Clay's into dirt biking and off-roading. You can literally go into Google and you can put a search on there. Hey, anytime off-roading in Minnesota pops up, please notify me. And then it notifies you and everything that pops up. Hey, Clay, I just saw this article, made me think of you. Because the more I think, the more I know about them, the more in relationship. So deepening the relationship of the agent, deepening the relationship of the client, deepening your relationship of your referral partners. The whole, they know you care. The more you think, the more they know, the more you care. So you got to dive and you got to lean into that. It can't be awkward and weird where you're just like, hey, I saw on Facebook that you have cats. Just talk to them about what makes them them, what makes them happy, what do they do on the weekends. When you're calling, follow with them. Now, here's the thing I want you to stay away from. Growing up, did anybody ever have a swear jar in their house? Mom and dad said a naughty word, they got to put a quarter or a dollar, depending on, quarter my age, maybe $1 for your guys' age if you're a little younger. But here's your new loan officer swear jar. Starting off with the word just. Hey, Clay, I'm just calling, because you're not just calling for that. Get rid of the word just. Get rid of the word touching base, checking in. How was your weekend? Let's grab coffee.
Oh my God, I think I did 5 of those this morning already.
And you probably did all 5. I'm like, Brian, hey, I'm just calling to check in and touch base, bud. How was your weekend, man? We should grab coffee. And that means we just provided, I know Clay's over there laughing. He's just like, were you listening in on my calls earlier today?
Yeah.
But we do this, we provide zero value to our agents. And then we wonder why they don't refer us. I mean, Scott, if I were to call you and ask you that as an insurance agent or a title rep, you would just start funding me business, right? I asked you how your weekend was. I told you I was touching base and checking in. I care about you. Would you still send me any business? No. We haven't provided any value yet. So make sure every Monday, what I do it all the time, I literally take screenshots all the time as I'm going through my week. I find things, if you look at my Instagram page, it's not like cars and this and that. It's literally like, good things for like business. So I got one over the weekend of like 5 things to tell how committed an athlete is. And it talks about what time they arrive at practice, the attitude they bring, the openness to feedback, the questions they ask, and the extra work they're willing to do. So I call my agents up and be like, hey, Brian, Randall, Nova, hey, bud, I got something here. I was seeing this over the weekend and it really hit me strong. So I know you've been struggling with your team a little bit. And this thing talks about 5 things that committed athletes do. And I think if you cover this, because we talked about this, your struggles, if you cover those things in your team meeting, I'm going to send this over to you. It could be something value of that. Mm-hmm. You could do the old chasing a product. Hey, we got a new niche product, but you know what my niche products are? You know what my specialty products are? Conventional, FHA, jumbo, and VA. That's all I do. And I'm really freaking good at them. I don't chase reno. I don't chase construction. I don't chase DSCR. It's just not my business model. I'll leave that for everybody else. I know what I'm good at. I stay in my lane. I do an excellent job at it. So if the agents are asking you, what's your product? You didn't provide any of the value. My value proposition when I'm talking to agents, 15-minute response time for all leads coming over, 91% lead to app ratio in 2023. 2024, we're lagging behind a little bit, but don't worry, it'll catch up. We're good at what we do. So those are my value add propositions to what I do, making sure. But I just literally take screenshots all the time. And then I'll email them to myself, and I have a folder on my email that says Randall's video action items, because my opportunity on Monday when I call my agents, I have to have something of value. Then what do I do Tuesday? I shoot a video on the thing of value. Don't cut and paste other people's stuff. Remember the whole marry the house, date the rate? Be honest, how many of you guys posted the same thing on your line? Go ahead, raise your hand. You know y'all did. And the funny thing about it, remember when they talked about interest rate payments, that It was like a light blue screen. I wish I could find it. It's so far back, but it was like a light blue screen, and it had rates at 4%, rates at 7.5%. Here's what it is. Here's what's costing you to wait. You know, the math on that was wrong. Payment was off by over $600 a month. Now, I don't know anywhere else in the country on a $400,000 loan that you have $600 in taxes and insurance. There might be one place somewhere out there, but it's probably highly unlikely.
Right.
But yet, everybody cut and paste that. So never cut and paste. Be original. Shoot a video on it. So the message on Monday is the video on Tuesday. Then your agents see it. They don't see Clay just cutting and pasting, because they know, if they're friends with Scott and Clay, when Clay posts, it's like, oh, that's cool. Then Scott posted, it's like, oh, he's unoriginal. Better relationships start with value. Be valuable to your business partners. Be valuable to your agents every Monday when you call them. Be valuable to your past clients. Because remember, a lot of swear jar. Calling your past clients. Scott, Randall at Nova Home Loans. Hey, bud, how are you? Hey, I was just calling to check in and touch base. How's the house? How's the, let me see my CRM here. Cats. Wife? Oh, divorce. Oh, didn't see that. Sorry. How are things? You still love the house? Do you want to refi? These are literally our past client calls, guys. They're terrible. So instead, what about this? I know in the Phoenix market, I can call Scott, Randall with Nova Home Loans. Hey, bud, 2 seconds. I hope you have for me. I've got some amazing numbers on your house right now. I mean, these are amazing. You got a second for me? Okay, great. So you bought your house 3 years ago today, by the way, happy anniversary, for $400,000. You put down $20,000. I just looked at your HomeBot, which, by the way, is anybody here using HomeBot? The most ridiculous software on the planet. I've got an 82% open rate on HomeBot right now. It's a customized report that goes to your clients every month on the value of their house. It's like Zillow on super steroids, but it's not sold publicly to, where they can get the information like Zillow can. It's the most amazing thing ever. So, and I'm not part of the company, so I'm not pitching it, but 82% open rate on a monthly mailer, unheard of. I mean, 5% is a great open rate. So 82%. So anyways, so your HomeBot value says $687,500. So you made $287,500 in the last 3 years. Now, most people would base that off the $400,000 purchase price, right? Wrong. He only put 5% down, so he only put $20,000. So his cash on cash return, divide that by $20,000, 1,437% cash on cash return, Scott. Was that the best investment you've ever had in your life? You could not have even done that with Tesla stock. Ridiculous numbers. You and the wife have to be super happy about that. Which, by the way, if you talked to Brian, your agent, since you bought the house, that guy negotiated the best deal for you. Of course, we got you a 3%, 4% interest rate, so I know you're not refining anytime soon. But you and the wife still loving the house, still meeting on your needs. That's awesome, man. Man, you just did such a great job. However, you did break my business plan. So my clients normally move every 3 to 5 years, and you're not going to move in the next 5 years, or the next couple of years, are you? Love the house, great rate, great equity in it. Can you help me with something? Now, I always work on an earn, ask, reward. Have I earned the right to ask them for a reward, guys? At a 1,437% return on his money, I'm pretty sure I've earned a freaking favor at this point. Right? So I need your help, Scott. I'm looking in your life somewhere. I need to find 2 renters. I have an amazing rent-to-own program where I turn renters into owners, and then we get to have that exact same conversation 3 years down the road for them. So if you can just look in your office, or the assistants, or maybe if you have buddies that have older kids, because you know that millennials forming households is the #1 largest group, larger than baby boomers right now, guys. So watch the millennials forming households, big group out there. And guess what? You think they care about interest rates? They've never had an interest rate before, so they're mildly care about it. They worry about, can I afford the payment right now? So different than someone having like Brian, who has 3%, and I got to talk Brian into a 7% rate. That's a way harder talk than just saying, hey, rates are what rates are, but here's the payment, you can afford it, and now you own the house. So all these things, you realize I'm deepening my relationships with my agents, with my business people, with my past clients, because I'm actually providing value to them. That's the deepening. It's not asking all the dumb questions about dog's name and cats and everything else, or where their kids went to school. What value can I provide to you to help deepen the relationship? So I know we've thrown a lot of stuff out here in 32 minutes, guys. This has been a lot, but do we feel like we have some tactical things we can go out actually today, stop the loan officer swear jar, just stop, and you say, hey, I'm just calling to, you know what, Clay, I'm not just calling like that. I really have some great numbers on your house. Or, Mr. Agent, I have purpose to call you. I want to help build out a business-to-business channel account for you. And I know you hate receiving these phone calls as much as I hate making them, but I actually have something for you today, not like the other loan officers, just looking for business. I want to create business with you. That's my different business proposition for you. My value proposition is way different than every other loan officer out there right now.
So if I kind of hearing what you're saying, so to call agents to say, I want to get them business and refer them business, you're taking your Fridays and doing your VIP theme day Friday, right?
Yep.
And you're calling divorce attorneys, estate attorneys, financial planners, anybody that's not really a realtor.
Yep, exactly the same thing I just did. And then on Monday, you call real estate agents and pitch them the same idea. Say, I will help you create a business-to-business channel account if you work with me. Now, here's the great thing, guys. I take my VIPs that I earn on Friday, and I will force introduce them to my agents on Monday. It's like, if Brian's interested in doing this, then I'll take somebody I might have met on Friday and be like, hey, Clay, real quick, I want you to meet Brian Fritz over at Keller Williams. I just met him. He is a great attorney, and he specializes in divorces. Brian, this is Clay Schwan from Schwan Divorce Service, like that. You guys need to meet each other. You'll be great assets for each other. What a great forced email. So I even earned an email of a level 3 member in the core. Now, level 3 in the core, those are pretty big deals. That means they're really crushing their business. And I was chasing this agent for forever. And I found out that she loved working with divorce attorneys. So I just introduced through a 3-way email chain, just like we talked about before. It forces the introduction, so everybody keep an eye on it. Said, hey, Angela, I want you to meet Juan over at Copper State Legal. He's a great attorney that manages divorces. Would love to introduce you guys. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. She literally, top agent called me then, set up an appointment in my office and brought me a gift. Kind of a change on the table there, right? So we call it Friday for VIPs. We call them Monday for agents. Now we have, and then we call past clients on Thursdays. It just works out better that way. But now we have value to call our past clients, our business partners, how to generate them, and agents to generate business by creating business partnerships. That's where they should be getting their business. Literally, business-to-business channel accounts, the average, they close at 60 to 65%. We're chasing agents that close at maybe, what, 20% lead to funding ratio, Brian, on a good month right now?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they close at 3 times the amount, and nobody's calling on them.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to get as many people saying, oh, you're my 5th loan officer, call me today.
Not at all like that. So generate these people, use Facebook for what it's for. Everybody loves a referral on Facebook. Right. Super easy to get.
And I challenge, we have a program called our Granite Give Back program, which everybody on the call knows. It's a little bit about giving back to first responders, police officers, veterans, things like that. And that's a way to just spend Fridays, theme day Friday, calling on medical professionals, whatnot, to get leads to give to realtors. So
100%. 100%. So I've got a little time. I allocated a full hour for you guys. If you need a little extra time here like that, what questions do you have? Where are you struggling at? What are you getting hung up on these days?
Perfect. So if you've got a question, you can just unmute yourself, go ahead and answer it. Or raise your hand, type it in, whatever you want to do. Who's got a question for Randall?
I didn't do that good of a job.
Pretty good.
Now, just so you guys know, not only am I a director at the core, I'm a level 3 coach, and I'm still a top 1% producer. So I'm still doing the same thing you do. That's one thing about the core. All my level 2 and level 3 coaches, it's not a bragging number. It's a validity number. We also have to be producing in the market. We'll have to net $1 million a year currently in the market to be a coach. Not bragging when I'm saying, when I'm telling you what I'm doing, is because exactly what I'm doing to net $1 million a year as a loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is high level stuff here that we're producing for you to help you out.
Right. Clay, what do you got? You took yourself off mute.
Yeah. When do you stop chasing someone? Or are you at What's your number?
Some of it's, the buy or die, or if I find somebody better to call on. So if I'm calling an agent after a while, I'll leave them one or two messages. Then I'm just like, hey, Clay, Randall with Nova, I'm going to go ahead and make this my last call to you. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I'm not your average loan officer calling to get a lead. I'm your above average loan officer trying to help create a business to business channel account that I work in my coaching program to help drive business and your past client referrals. If you're not interested, you can just text me or call me. That's okay. In worst case scenario, if you and I meet, and I know you work with Scott Robnett over at Granite, he's a great guy. I'm not looking to take business away from him, only to grow your business. I'll just leave the final breakup call, and that's it. After a while, but 2, 3, 4 calls. But honestly, you've seen the stats out there. It's the 8th call or 8th point of contact before they start thinking about a yes. So call, text, email, video, tag them in something, chase them down and stalk them a little bit on Facebook. Don't just like stuff. If you're going to hit the like button, type a comment. If not, just skip it. Don't like them. But they need to start seeing stuff on you too. And then if you're in a real estate forum, they have a question, just type, I don't know, but Clay's a pretty expert agent, all that stuff. Maybe he has the answer for this. Even though he doesn't know you, they might see, wow, this guy Randall keeps tagging me on stuff. He chases me down. He converses with me on Facebook, or just post something like, dude, that was fire last week, what you posted on that house. That is so good. I'm going to have my agents all take a look at this, man. That was phenomenal video. Just draw them into you. But yeah, you got to try for a while. Could we 1 or 2 phone calls, and it's like the pretty girl at the school that would never go out with us. We keep asking her out, which after twice, we're like, oh shucks, forget about it.
Well, in the reverse is so many of us say, hey, I called, it was a great call, and they didn't send business. And I'm like, well, it's the reverse of dating the girl. It's like, well, you're not trying to marry her in the first date either. So be persistent, but take your time.
Good question.
Who else? Who else has a question about your own business with realtors? What about who has a question about divorce attorneys or estate planning attorneys? Has anybody been doing that?
I have a couple. Sorry, I have COVID right now, which is why my screen is not on. But I do have a couple in my sphere that owe me money and leads. But I stopped by just with buns and a sweet little saying and a card a couple times a year. But what do you say to them to get them to use you?
So you got to make sure that you're sending them business as well, because if you just know them and you send hard, you haven't done anything. So it's just got to be a steady. Then after a while, you'd be like, hey, Brian, I'd love to swing by your office to sit down and talk to you. I know it probably sent over, I'm guessing from my tracking. And again, you got to track your numbers. I've sent over about 20 clients. I want to see how many of them you converted and what I can do to be better about sending them over. But face-to-face meetings, belly-to-belly, face-to-face. We hide too much behind text and emails and Facebook messaging. You've got to get out there with them. And if they don't refer business to you after a while, Nicole, you just have to drop them and go find somebody else. Because there's somebody else out there that you can give 20 leads to. They should be giving you 4 or 5 good leads back. They should be really, really high level leads.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like you lost your voice, Nicole.
I did. I don't know if everyone in my house is happy or sad.
Well, hey, Randall, I appreciate you taking some time, sharing your insight and what you've done to obviously the successes you've had. I mean, to be a 1% producer, I think the goal also is that if you can make $1 million a year, that's pretty impressive. And to take 41 minutes of your day to share with us, it means a lot. I think the Core is an awesome coaching program. Rick Ruby's about the most intense guys you can figure out in your career. If you haven't follow the Core coaching on video or YouTube, you'll see a lot out there. And anything else you can share with us on that aspect?
Yeah, for sure. So I appreciate that. So again, we are a coaching and training program. For me, I truly am the Core story. I got licensed in 2013, literally. So it's been exactly 11 years and 2 months, just by shy one day. It was January 5th of 2013. So came out of the commercial real estate world and just didn't understand much about residential, knew some basics on it just from buying a couple homes. So I just started following our CD program, because back in the day, our level 1 was just, you got 2 CDs a month, right? And we got super excited to get these things. Like, oh my God, this is going to be great.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we've now modified level 1 coaching. So it's full-time professional business coaches helping you out with your business. You know, it's definitely, we're not a internet module program. We're like, okay, just log on, read module 1, read module 2. I mean, we tried that for a little while with the CD program and it was successful, but then we realized that's just not who we are. We're preaching belly to belly and face to face, but yet here we are just doing CDs. So let's get the program better. So we have the level 1 coaching, full-time professional, and then our level 2, level 3, which we talked about earlier, which are people that are in your industry, lenders and realtors in your industry that are actually producing at a high level that are your coaching, but we just got to get you up to that level. Now, what I'm going to do, if it's okay, if you're on there, you can send Brian, we can get to send an email over to him or send an email directly to you. We have some great videos that were just shot from one of our top level 3 coaches, Jeremy Forcier, where he did like 2 45-minute sessions on how to, what to say to the agent that you called 100 times. So what I gave you in high level, just, in the 30, 43 minutes, he spent 45 minutes on just this subject. He was so popular in the first video, we do the second one. So we've got those videos to share with you. I promise you, it is the most valuable 45 minutes you'll watch. And if you like the other one, you can email back to Hal, and Hal will send you the second one on it, the kind of continuation to it. I promise you, just allocate 45 minutes. And again, you don't have to watch them. Does anybody have a half-hour drive or more to work? Just stick it on your phone and listen to it in your car, man. You'll just realize this is a guy doing the same thing I'm doing in the market right now. I'll have him share it with you guys. The most valuable things that you could do. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. So let me share you a little bit of that. Because, again, we're not just a program of webinars, but we do provide those to our people so you can learn more about it. But we are a script, tactic, and implementation company at a very high level. So if you have more interest in it, respond back to Hal and say, hey, yeah, I would like to talk to somebody about potential coaching and help out. If you just like the webinars, just let Hal know, and he'll sign you up on our distribution list for the webinars, because all the webinars are taught not by outside people. Like some of these, you go to some of these conferences and you see the guy on stage and you'll never, ever, ever talk to him again. They're up there, and sometimes they're not even our industry. They're just big rah-rah guys, right? And then you'll never talk to again. Hopefully you get the selfie at the end, and that's it. And then you will follow them online. With us, yep, there's Hal's email address right up there in the corner. So if you want to email him for those videos on that in the note section. But if you want to get, but for this, everybody you'll see on these webinars are coaches of ours that are currently producing that you have access to when you get in our program. These are the people that are going to be coaching you down the road, not just some guy on stage like a Tony Robbins who you'll never ever meet again. Right. Like Grant Cardone or something like that. Those guys are great, but you'll just never reach them. For us, we're a phone call away.
Yeah, all practical things to implement in your business.
100%, Brian, 100%.
Well, good. Hey, I really appreciate your time today, Randall. Very good information. I know our team got a lot of info on it, and this is what we're about, is just coaching, training, learning, growing. That's our industry. And if you stop doing that, you'll be selling vacuums.
Exactly. So email Hal if you want to see that video. It's just Hal, HAO, at thecoretraining.com, or you can email Randall, RANDALL, at thecoretraining.com, and we'll send that video over to you so you can take a look at it, see if you like it. If you do, we've got a couple more. If you got a specific problem on something like that, we can help you out with it, like, just get you the right video and all that stuff. And if you want to talk to one of our people about what it would look like for coaching down the road, let us know. I mean, it's an amazing program. Our tagline says we create millionaires. It's literally 1,823 W-2 verified millionaires. So it's not just a logo. It's just what we do.
I love it. That's great. It's good info, and appreciate your time today.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan.
All right. Take care, everybody.